Hi, today I want to talk about what I went through last week. It was a very scary experience. The short story is my left ear was deaf for about 5-10 minutes, and I have never experienced that ever before in my life. I always have this itchiness inside my ear, on my left ear particularly, and I always thought that it's fluid inside my ear. And indeed it is, because when I'm turning my head left and right, I could hear the sound of the water like clicking. It's like click, 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 click as I'm turning my head. And this has been around for like over a year at least, I think. And I was just kind of being ignorant and I thought that's fine. It didn't cause me any big trouble besides having some sound as I'm turning my head. I'm okay with it. And so, anyway, but my left ear has been really itchy. And this is like, kind of gradual, and it's been going on for the last half a year or longer. And so, a lot of time when it itch, I just kind of rub it on my ear like this on the outside to kind of like make it less itchy. And so I think it was like last Wednesday or something. I was at work. It was like 9:50 a.m. Sitting at my desk, the itch. So I just rubbing and I rub it. The harder you rub, the better the itch is gonna be disappear. And so I thought I rubbed it a little too hard, and then suddenly I felt something like displaced inside my left ear. That caused the pressure to build up, and my ear was plugged 100%. So like it was went completely silence, no sound. It was so scary, and I tried to like touch my left ear, and I couldn't, almost like have no feeling of my left flesh on my ear, because it felt like it's almost like numb. And then on my upper left side, from my eye, on my left eye, all the way up here, it felt like I lose like some sensation to it. That feeling was really scary. But my right ear, I could still hear normal. And and so my first reaction was I really panicked, because I don't know what just fell through on my left ear when I was rubbing something, and then it just like completely silence. And so I tried all kind of things. Of course, I was trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to do like my head and blah blah blah, move my head all around. Did not fix the problem. I decided to walk away from my desk because I don't want other people to see what the heck I was doing. So I was heading to the bathroom, but along the bathroom I saw this empty break room. So I was like, there's two chairs. So I tried to lay it on between the two chairs, on top of two chairs, and so I can lay down a little bit. But again, I was really worried about other people see me doing some weird stuff, and I just lay there for like 3-4 seconds, and it didn't really got better. And so I got back up right away before somebody walked into the break room or something like that. So I continued to go to the bathroom, and thankfully there was nobody at the bathroom at the time. They have this tall mirror there, and so I just trying to like see what is on my left ear with the mirror, and obviously I couldn't see it. I can't really see what is from the mirror with just my eye and the mirror like that. And I can't see it very deep either. So I just do more of this, do more of that, and in the end, I need to like press it again and like rub it gently, because I do not want to damage whatever that might have fell out of place or something. I did not know what's going on basically. Thankfully, eventually, the pressure kind of like breakthrough, like my ear hole has a path that the air went through, and I was able to hear again. So I was doing this and flicking my finger on my left ear and flicking my finger on the right ear to test if I can hear both sides equally, right? And I can hear it from the left and the right. However, the pressure on the left ear is still there. It's it just like looks like there's just a small hole that can get me through, but it wasn't like 100% plug, but it's like maybe 60% plug or something like that. And it was hitting 10 o'clock and I had a meeting. So I went to my meeting. Thankfully, I just had to sit there and listen, didn't have to be very involved. And of course, I couldn't focus at that meeting at all. And after that 1 hour, I went to lunch and it's still there, but I just didn't dare to touch my ear at all. So I tried to avoid touching it, and because now at least I'm able to hear. I don't want it to be jammed up like 100% like before. And so the next thing was I tried to call to get to see a doctor because this is way too crazy for me. Like I don't know what happened. And I was able to get in to see a nurse practitioner the next afternoon. But the first night, I couldn't sleep until 3 a.m. because I'm one of those people who sleep on my side. So I turn to the left, I turn to the right, and the pressure inside, like, I don't know, the fluid inside or whatever, is like just going around, and I just have this pressure build up and it was blocking up my hearing. Yeah, so that was what happened. It was very uncomfortable. And of course, I looked up on Google what could possibly happen to me. Could it be because the fluid buildup and something happened? And there's this thing called the Eustachian tube dysfunction. And I was like, there's no way to cure that. And I was really worried that like the solution for that is like you have to put something in there and then drain your fluid. So in other words, possibly some kind of minor operation or surgery. And I was even like imagining like, oh my God, wouldn't I have to have like a CT scan or something so they can take the picture inside and see what's going on, and then how much it's gonna cost, right? If that's gonna happen, leave alone like how am I gonna arrange my time off from work and all the other responsibilities at home and whatnot. Yeah, it was stressful, and it was like kind of very intimidating because it's one of my scariest feeling is to lose your hearing completely. And anyway, so I saw a nurse practitioner. You're gonna laugh at this because it turned out that I just had a lot of wax in my ear that built up over the year, and then all I did was just like get a nurse, pump the water through and flush it, and then pump it to this ear as well. And then there was a bunch of wax, and some of them are like really big, and they're like small little pea size. Well, it's smaller than a piece of pea, but it was like big and solid that it can eventually, probably what it did is I rubbed it and it fell off, and then it blocked my eardrum completely. And so that's what happened. And they cleaned both of those ears. It did take them a lot of try on my right ears actually compared to my left ear. I only did 2 flushes on the left, and on the right they did like 6 flushes. And then some of the stuff is still stuck, so they have to use like a stick to kind of scrape it off. It was crazy. And I have like a few pictures that I took, and yeah, they have like put me on get my pressure first at the office, and then they pour the wax onto the sink, and then there's some like kind of got stuck on the sink. So when the nurse left, I took a picture just to for the record. I guess it's kind of disgusting, but that is what happened. But the story is, I think the takeaway is this really make me reflect on how we take our sense for granted, right? Our ability that we were born with. And I think any of those sense, if we lose them, it would be very devastating, right? Even on my left ear, I can still hear on the right ear, but it was really funny. Like you just hearing from one side. It's like when you're watching a movie, you only have one audio on the right side is on, and then the left is not on. It sounds really weird. And leave alone that I was having pressure issues on my left ear, even though I was able to hear fine on my left ear, it was just really annoying. You know, imagine you're on the high altitude and then you're like hearing your own echo, your own voice really loud, or you can hear your heartbeat, kind of things like that. So I cannot imagine like if I have to live the rest of my life with that. And then, you know, just a very quick story because this is getting long. When I was like maybe like 16 or something, I also have this one experience where I lost my visions for like, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds. It was really quick, but it felt like really long. I don't even know what happened, but I think I played way too much computer games and it was like midnight and I've been playing for like maybe 10 hours straight. I have no clue. I play a lot of video games as a teenager. Anyway, and I might have like exhausted my eyes or whatever, and all I remember was there was a sound that I heard. It go boop. It's like the light bulb just broke on the light and everything went dark. And I just don't know what happened. I just heard pop and then everything went dark. And my parents' room was right across from my room. So I remember, like, I don't know, I just remember from memory how I ran to my parents' rooms and just told them, I can't see anything. And I jumped on the bed and I just like can't see anything. And I was just hugging my mom. And I don't know what they said, but I think they're just holding on to me and they turn on the lights. And I think like, you know, that 20 seconds later or whatever, I start seeing things again and everything was fine. I don't know if it was really me imagining thing or if it's just really a short term of vision loss. But other than that time of losing my vision that scared the hell out of me, that I would never forget that feeling. This is the second things that really make me really scared is losing my hearing completely. So a lot of times it's kind of crazy. Like I imagine a day where I'm sitting on the wheelchair, you know, how am I supposed to navigate work? How am I supposed to get into work? How am I supposed to go to the bathroom even, right? And how do I get myself off the wheelchair and get into the toilet seat? How am I going to get my water? How am I going to cook my own food? All these things, it's just very simple just as walking that we take for granted every day. You know, the vision, the listening, the speaking, all those, any of those one thing that is disabled would be detrimental, like disasters. So anyway, I'm glad that it was a false alarm, but I guess the takeaway lesson for me is I should try to get my earwax clean at least every couple years, since I don't like to like put water in there and then like try to flush it. So yeah, if you ever got any earwax block problem, maybe that's just an earwax issue and that can resolve easily. So thankful that there's no surgery. Yeah.